Hello, hi everyone. It's Hitesh here. So welcome to fourth day of this Excel and VBA and automations. So today we will start with the concepts of college looping. Okay, we'll start with this particular concepts and we will cover more particular concepts regarding the object model, regarding the dynamic arrays and the looping part. So coming to the loops, right? Yesterday we have seen all the decision making statements, right? How the if and else block get executed, how the select and case block get executed when any condition matches with the predefined condition and that condition is true, then my loop will going to or my code of block will going to exit in that if block. If my condition is false, then it will going to execute in a else block, right? So coming to the loop. Now, what is meant by loop, right? If I'll ask you in simple English, it's already know loop means repetitive task. Okay, doing that some repetitive task again and again. Now, these loops allow you to repeat a code block or some set of number of times or repeat a code block on each object. Okay. Suppose now you want to print 10 numbers, right? So, if you want to print for the 10 numbers, it means that you're going to use the what message box in order to print the 10 numbers like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? But now what I want to print the 1000 numbers, right? For the smaller number of series you're going to do that particular task. Okay, means printing one after another, printing one after another, right? But what about I want to print more than 100 numbers, 1000 numbers, lakhs of numbers, right? So that can be a cumbersome task if you go for the normal printing traditional method, right? So for that particular purpose, to avoid that type of coding, we have a concept called as a loop. Okay, what loop we will going to do? There are many looping statements. Okay, and loop will going to make an task easy for us. If you want to print something, some particular value from this range to this range, right? And there's so many types of loop. We have a for each loop, then we have for next, then do while, then do until, right? So many types of loops we have, and we're going to see all the loops one by one. Okay, coming to now, you can all open your Excel. Okay, everyone. So now we'll see how the loop statements get executed in a VBA. Okay, so let's start with a for loop. Just do alt plus F11. It will going to start with your control editor. Now view code, right? And this view code will going to start with a loop. Now suppose I want to print a number from 1 to 10. Let's take it with a simple example, a basic example in order to print the number from 1 to 10. Okay. Now again, let's make one procedure called as one for loop, and this. Okay. Let's include dim. Again, we're going to declare one our particular variable dim I as integer. Okay, dim I as integer, and to use the for loop, we're going to use the keyword for. Let's start initialize the variable. Okay, first of all we have to initialize the variable here. So my starting of the for loop we're going to start from 1 to 10. Okay, this is the syntax. Okay, from where you want to start your loop until where you want to go. Okay, so from I to 1 to 10, right? And in message box we're going to print simple I. You can set in this bracket also, it doesn't matter. Okay, now message box I. What this code will going to do? This code will help me to print the number from 1 to 10. If I'll run this, wait, something we have encountered some error. Okay, actually we have to increment the for loop also. So while writing that thing, we have to increment the for loop. Okay. Yeah. Now, in order to increment means suppose we have set it 1, right? Now it will going to run the condition, and then it will going to print this one. Next try means jump to 2, then again next try jump to 3. Okay, again it will go into message box and it will going to print the 3. So if I run this, let me see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? So this is a simple for loop. Got it? This will going to check the condition, and on the basis of condition it will going to execute the loop. Now there's a other concept of loop, or there's a different for loop which is called as a while loop. Okay, which is called as a do while loop. In do while loop, what happens? The function which we have seen of the for loop, okay, this is a little advanced loop functions. Okay, here we don't have to means perform some, we don't have to give that much condition which is required in other loop, which we're going to see now, which is called as a while loop. Okay, now in do while loop, what do we do? First of all, in order to print that condition in do while, first we just execute the loop once, and then it will going to check the condition. It means, suppose I'm taking sub do while loop. Okay, I'm taking some do while loop, and here just let's create dim. Okay, let's create one integer dim and as integer, and let's initialize our variable n equal to 1, because I wanted to use the do while. So do while n should be less than, you can say, set to 11, right? Want to print n less than 11, and in message box print this, in message box print this n, and let's increment the n. So n equal to n plus 1, we are incrementing the n, right? First we have initialized our variable, okay, then we have set the condition, and then we have incremented, right? There are three things in a loop: initialization, so condition, and incrementation. Same here, initialization, this condition, and this incrementation, right? Now if I'll run this and this set as loop, so if I run this, see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, can you see this particular procedure has been run, right? Now let me change this particular value to 10, and this I'm setting as 20, otherwise you're going to say that this particular procedure has been run. Okay, let's use this one, and 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. Did you see that? Okay, this is called as a do while loop. It means that it has first executed the loop, and then it has checked the condition. Okay, this is the working of do while loop. Now next we have also called as a do until loop. Okay, now do until loop, what will going to do? It will going to loop the particular code until some particular condition is met. Okay, just like suppose I'm taking do until loop. Okay, and let's create a one variable name as dim and as integer. Okay, now n equal to 1, and let's say do until n should be greater than equal to 10. I'm setting, I've initialized and I've given the condition, and in message box let's print n, and let's increment the condition. Okay, and let's use loop. Now you will see, let me give the condition, means it should start from 5 and n should be greater than equal to 10, and I'm printing this loop. If I run this, can you see it started with the 5 because I'm initialized with the 5, 6 7 8 9 10, because it is greater than equal to 10. Now what happened if I'll set this condition like this? Okay, now see, when I'll run this, what is showing? Nothing is happening. Why? Because my particular loop has gone into the infinite loop, because this condition is wrong. N should be less than equal to 5. How it's possible? If I'm initializing n equal to 5 and it should be less than equal to 5 and it should print the condition, it will not going to proceed further, right? So for that purpose we should do that n should be greater than equal to 10. Then in this way it will going to execute the loop. Okay, so this is the condition for do until loops. Okay, I guess now everyone have understand this particular concepts. Now let's move to concept called as an object model. Okay, let's take some more examples of the loop. If you haven't understand perfectly, let's take some full examples. Now suppose for even numbers. Okay, I want to print the even numbers with the help of loop. Now in this, let's create one particular variable, dim n as integer. Okay, and for n equal to 2, it should be start with 2 to 10. Okay, 10 even numbers I want to print. And step 2, it means that step 2 means it means the number which is divided by 2, right? And means suppose I am giving 2, and then step 2 means it will going to alternate the two numbers, then 3, then 4, then 5, it will going to leave, then it will going to print 6, like in this way. Okay, and next, and increment the condition. If I run this, can you say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right? Because it have used the step 2, right? If suppose I want to print, you can say order. So what condition you can set? You can set to 1 and equal to 1, and let's print this 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, right? So this is the conditions how to print even and odd numbers. So just step 2 is just giving me, it means that just leave one step and go to the another step, right? That is called as an step 2 functions. Okay, so you can do so many things, right? If you have some particular code you want to print, okay, you can start with an n equal to 2, and then you are setting the step of 2 minus 1 also. If you are doing, okay, it will going to print the, see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So n equal to 2 you are specifying, and step is 2 minus 1, right? Or it should print 2 plus 1, right? If I'll print this 2, 5, 8, right? So in this way, it's depend upon you what conditions you are specifying, what you want to print. Okay, it will going to execute as per your conditions. Now suppose I want to print reverse number. Okay, like 10, 9, we have printed like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like this, right? Now I want to print a reverse number. So in order to print a reverse number, let's give this particular name as in reverse. And in reverse, what we can specify? We can specify, let's create a one variable first. Okay, let's create a one variable, and in this variable, what we're going to do, we're going to certain condition, right? If I'm stepping the condition of step 2, means it will going to give me the following step results. But when I set the condition as suppose dim n as integer, and for n equal to 10 I am setting, because I want to start from 10, and then it should go 10 minus 1 9 minus 1 8 minus 1 7, like this. So 2 up till it should go to 1. And what step I can write? It should reduce the one step. So step minus 1, it should reduce the one step. And then message box, then let's print n, let's give the little bit decrementation, and in message box I can print like reverse till here. Okay, you can print anything you want, depends upon you. Got it? Now let's print this. Oh, okay, it's message box. Okay, one small error. 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1, reverse still here. All right, now what happened if I'll say you just you want to modify the code and you want to count or you want to reverse the number, but the even numbers you want to reverse? So definitely what you're going to do, you're going to do the step minus 2, 10 8 6, 4, 2, it was still here, right? So this is the particular means countdown or some examples for the for loops, how you can use the for loops, right? So I guess you have understand how it can be done, right? Now suppose I'll give you some examples with the help of you can say row or with the help of your column. Now if I'll say you want to apply your loop on your sheets, okay, means on your worksheets. So in order to apply this particular loops on your worksheets, okay, first we will understand what is meant by an Excel object model in order to working with the sheets and worksheets. Okay, first we will use the Excel object model. Now in Excel object model, you already aware about the concepts of an object, right? Do you know the object? Object means anything, okay, everything around us is an object, right? Either that object can be a computer, that object can be this laptop, a mouse, a printer, car, or you can say table, chair, okay. This all are what? These all are object, right? Because everyone is already familiar with the word object. Okay, forget about the definition. You can think that you know, because in the world of programming language, the word object has some different meaning. Okay, you often see it is used, suppose, as a part of an expression. Like you haven't heard about the term called as an object-oriented programming, right? Or an OOP concept. And OOP is based on the idea that software deals with the distinct objects, right? And that has some attributes or properties which can be manipulated, right? And these objects are not a material things like we refer to in our real world scenarios, but in programming world scenarios, these objects refer to in the form of bits and bytes, right? This object exists in the form of bits and bytes. Now, what if I'm ask you a question that is Excel is an object? Because you have used an Excel so many times for quite a while, you haven't used it, but you probably never thought of it as an object, right? Because and the more you work with a VBA, the more you view the Excel in those terms actually. Okay, you're going to understand that Excel is an object and it contains other objects too, right? And those objects contain still more objects, right? In other words, if I go through the scenarios, see, this is my Excel. This whole Excel is an object. Inside this object, I have this worksheet as an object. Then inside the worksheet, I have this ribbon tabs as an object, right? Inside this tab, this file, I have these all as sub objects, right? Inside this, I have all these sub objects, right? So basically, the whole Excel is working on the hierarchy object concept, right? One inside the another. And if you use this hierarchy, like the application object contains the other object. So some hierarchy if you use, like suppose you are using the add-in, okay, and then window, then workbook, then worksheet function, okay, worksheet functions, and so many things, right? Now suppose there's so many things. This are just several scenario which I have taken. Okay, this one like add in, window, workbook, and worksheets. Inside this you can be have chart, name, VB project, window, and again worksheet, then comment, hyperlink, name. Everything is an object. Put another way, if you want to do something with a range on a particular worksheet, okay, this is my worksheet, and if you want to do some on a particular range, right? So you may find it that it helps to visualize the range actually. If you see, range is basically one specific cell in a VBA programming. Okay, range is specifically a one specific cell. Now if I'm telling this, it means that this is range D7. Okay, if I'm telling this range A2, if I'm telling this, it means that range A62J25, right? So this is called as a range. Got it? Now you have understand the concepts of range. Now if I want to select any worksheets, okay, if I want to select any worksheet with help of VBA, so I can write WRK SHET worksheet, and inside that you're going to pass one parameter name as sheet1. Okay, like in this way. It means that you have selected worksheet. Okay, and inside the worksheet you have selected this sheet1. Right, and if whatever name you have given to this particular sheet, you can rename here also. Okay, because you can work with an entire collection of an object in one fell swoop, and more oftenly, however, you need to work with some specific object also in that collection sometimes. So to reference that single object from a collection, you put the object name or index number in parenthesis after the number of the collection, like this. Now notice that sheet1 is in quotation mark, right? If you want to means omit the quotation mark, Excel won't able to means you can say identify the object. Okay, Excel will assume this as a variable name, right? So that whatever things you are writing inside this quotation mark, this will going to refer as an object to the VBA programming, right? Now if I'll write here, suppose worksheet 1, with worksheets 1, be spelling mist, little bit pay concentration on your spellings, guys. Okay, now worksheets 1. Now in this case the number is not in quotation mark, right? Bottom line, if you see, if you refer as an object by using its name, you are using the quotation mark. But if you refer this object by using its index number, using a plain number without the quotation mark, this is for the simple worksheet. But what about the chart sheets? You might be having the chart sheet, because a chart sheet contains a single chart and it has a sheet tab also, but it is not a worksheet, right? So single worksheet can be named as a sheet1 number of two collections. Okay, and worksheet collections and sheet collection. Now if you want that inside the sheets, your inside the sheets you want to name, so you can name as sheets, and this you can pass as a sheet1. Okay, now if I'll go into the hierarchy concepts, like navigating through the hierarchy, every other object in an Excel object model is under some application object, and you get to those objects by moving down the hierarchy and connecting each one object on your way. Okay, we're using the dot operator. So to get the workbook object name as a book1 dot xls, okay, if you save this file, you can say, see this, it's coming like book1 dot xls, right? Now suppose you want to start with the application object and navigate down to the book1 dot xls. Now so what you can write, you can write here, okay, what you can write, you can write suppose application, take little bit, now application dot workbooks. Okay, inside this workbooks we are just taking the name of the book we have saved, book1 dot x, right, xlx, and just close the quotation mark. It means that inside the application object we have just access the workbooks object, and inside the workbooks I have access this particular sheet which I have saved, right? Now if you want to further specific worksheet you want to add, so you can add with an, you can write here, write worksheet. Okay, you can write here worksheets, and inside this worksheets you can write 1. Okay, now actually not far enough yet. if you go through the navigating, okay, if you're going to navigate the hierarchy more, you will find that this is just for the at the level of workbooks or to the worksheet. What happen if I want to just go to the hierarchy of the whatever the value contained in this cell, inside the worksheet, inside the application, inside the workbooks and worksheet, inside the cells, what values are there. So you have to write means like in this way. Suppose we are writing the again, you can take this one and same application dot workbooks, okay, and this workbooks one dot, you're writing range of where, what is the range, suppose in a1 you have written some value, range a1, okay, dot value, range a1 dot having some value. Now when you refer this range object, okay, in this way it is called as a fully qualified reference. Okay, if anyone asks you in the interview what is meant by fully qualified reference, this is called as a fully qualified reference. Okay, because you have told the excel exactly which range you want, from where, right, on which worksheet, on which workbook you want, right, because and have, you can say, have nothing left to the imagination. Okay, because imagination is good in people but not so good in programmings. Okay, so because in programming you have to specify everything you wanted to do. Okay, every single task can be written in some kind of a language, that programming language you want to perform, right. Now let's simplify this object references. Okay, if I simplify this object references, let's go back to reverse of the hierarchy. Okay, if I want to access, means we are already under the application.workbooks. Now if I want to access the values from b c d e, okay, again and again differently, I'm not going to write this all things again and again, application.workbooks book one worksheet, like if my this all the values, if some particular values I'm working with, okay, suppose I want to working with these values, okay, and it is already in the application.workbooks.worksheet 1, okay, in this worksheet only we have, okay, unless until I'll going to go to the second sheet, okay, I'm in this worksheet only. So differently, if I want to access the some value, I'm not going to write this all the things. So for that particular purpose, what we're going to do, just range, and inside the range we can set as like I want to access the b1, so b1 dot value, okay, b1 dot value, because contrary to what some people may think, like excel does not give us some cell object, and cell is a simply a range object, right, that consists of one element, and that element can be anything like string, integer, float, okay, anything, colors, right. So I guess now everyone understand till here. Now going to the object properties, okay, let's navigate through some object properties, because every object having some properties, you can think of properties as an attributes that describes that objects, right. Suppose a student is an object, so what are the attributes of this student? I can say student's name, student roll number, student address, right. So these are the attributes of a students, and student is an object. So their object properties determine how it looks and how it behaves, even when whether it is visible. Using VBA, you can do the two things with an object properties, like examining the current setting for a property and changing the property settings. For example, if a single cell range object has a property called as a value, right, this single cell range having the object property is called as a value. I'm talking about this specifically, C12 cell. So this particular cell range having some value like 12, right, suppose you are taking, so the value property stores the value contained in the cell, okay, and you can write the VB code to display the value property, or you may write the VB code also to set the value property to the specific values. Like suppose let's go into the VBA editor, okay, go to VB editor, and I'm taking new sheet here. You can just save it and you can take a new code, view code, Okay, see now here whatever things you're going to do, okay, whatever changes you are making here, okay, that will going to reflect here. Suppose you are taking the new sheet. I have selected a new sheets. Okay, now I want to perform in new sheets, so you can do the code in new sheets. If you want to perform in same single sheet, so you can perform in same single sheet here. Okay, got it. Now suppose now I am taking here, suppose show value of procedure. Okay, I am taking show value procedure. Okay, in show value procedure, suppose I have written contents. Okay, my contents is there. I'm going to create a one variable, and that variable will going to give me the worksheets, and inside the worksheets I have an sheet 1, name as in sheet 1, and inside the sheet I have range, and inside the range 1 a1. Okay, a1 dot value, a1 dot value, and message box I'm going to set message box contents. Okay, message box contents. This is my show value procedure. In this show value procedure, function procedure, what I'm writing that if any content, this is a variable, you can create any type of variable you want. Okay, it depends upon you, but the important thing is this one, the worksheet. Inside the worksheets, in my sheet 1, in my specific a1 cell, is there any kind of values present? If I run this particular procedure, what is saying is an empty. Because why? Because in my range a1 there's no value, but if I'll write here the value, okay, if I write some value here, and again if I'll go to my this VBA editor, and if I'll run this again, what you can see, 54325, can you see? Because I have entered that value here, right? In a1 I specifically entered that value, right? See here, got it. Now suppose I am writing some value, see, in h9, in h11, and in h14, right? So in range 1, what I am setting, let's check for the h11. Now run this, but you can see worksheet 1, just like see worksheet 1, right? So it means that you are setting some value, means you are getting some value. Okay, you're not setting the value. Now in order to set the value, because I've used this h11 worksheet 1, okay, like here worksheet 1, but I want to set the value. Okay, I want to set the value now, or you want to change the value. You can say you can change the value. Both the things you can do. Again, worksheets. Okay, inside the worksheets, sheet 1, inside the sheet 1 dot range. Okay, and in this range I'm selecting as a1. Let's take an a1 dot value, and I'm setting the value as suppose 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? I'm setting this one, although in my range a1 contain 54325 value, but I'm setting as 1 2 3 4 5 6. It means that I'm changing my value. So the value of changing the value, right? Now if I run this, okay, this has been run. Okay, now go to your Excel sheet. What value you can see? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Can you see here? This 1 2 3 4 5 6, earlier it is used to be 5 4 3 2 5. Now suppose I want to change this one, worksheet 1, and I want to name as an Excel. Again same, and here what you can write, h11, and you can set to suppose Excel, right? Now if you don't write in this double inverted comma, it will going to throw the error. So now run this, and go to here and see Excel has been written, right? So in this way you can able to specifically work with the specific cells or particular cells in some particular sheets. Now what happened, I'm writing some value in a sheet 2. Okay, I'm writing some value in a sheet 2. So what you can do, again this one, but this time I'm writing in sheet 2 range A1. The value I'm writing as, suppose I'm writing my name like Hitesh. Okay, and now let's run it. Okay, this has been run. Now go to sheet, see 1 2 3 4 5 6 in the range sheet 1, and in sheet 2 what you can see, A1 value, and in that A1 what I've written, Hitesh, right? So working with a specific sheets, it depends upon you. And if you are giving some name, okay, let me change the name of this sheet and rename this as an names. Okay, I've given a name. Now go to that VBA editor and try to, what you can see, runtime error 9 subscript out of range. It means that name of the sheet is not proper. So what you can give, names. Now run this, again go to browser and see Sitish. If you are thinking that previous code has been run, now let's set this A1 like any in a G11 I'm setting, right? And I'm setting my full name, Hitesh. Now again run this, go to your Excel, or you can see here, right? Can you see it here? This Hitesh at G11, right? Can you see? Now these all things we are doing without the help of message box. Now what happens sometimes, if I want to count, okay, or suppose now you can determine how many workbooks are open by just at the present time. So in order to see how many workbooks have been opened, okay, you can use the count. Let's create a one particular specific function. Okay, you can give any function name, it depends upon you. Count workbook. Okay, and inside this I'm writing message box, and my message box you should call like worksheet, okay, dot worksheets dot count. So can you see this particular method, worksheet dot count? Use this method. Okay, in this means the what it is going to do, okay, worksheets dot count. If I'll run this, it will going to give me the like 2 worksheets has been count. Now if I wanted to see how many workbooks has been there, has been open, how many workbooks has been open, now you can use the workbook dot count. Okay, and now run this. If I run this, 2 workbook, this 2 you can say worksheets and 1 workbooks, right? Got it? So in this way you can count the number of worksheets has been open or number of workbooks has been open at the present time. Okay, now we will see some object method. Okay, we will see some object method. Now one of the method which we're going to discuss called as an, suppose, clear content method. Okay, we're going to use the clear content method. Now suppose in my specific cell, let's go to sheet 1, and in this sheet 1 what I'm doing, okay, suppose okay, now I have just created some contents with a specific this cell range, from cell range C16 to G33. Okay, now some, if I want to do the some changes, definitely I can do it here, right? With the specific sheets, if I wanted to do, suppose I'm okay, suppose sub changes and worksheets. I'm not copying pasting, guys, I'm just writing in front of you. Okay, sheet 1 dot range, and range you are selecting. Suppose you want to do some kind of a manipulation in at the first, like C16, so you are specifying the C16, and inside this C16 you are giving dot value, and inside the dot value you are setting as suppose an Excel worksheet or Excel VBA. Okay, like this we have set it. Now if I'll run this particular method, so this method will going to give me that I've done some kind of a changes here. But what happen if I want to clear the contents of this particular all the ranges we have selected? Okay, what are the things we have filled? I want to clear the content of it. So in order to clear the content of it, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the method called as a clear content method. Okay, I'm going to use the method as an clear content method. So sub clear range, let's take in one particular procedure, and this clear range, what I'm writing from range from here C16 to C or G33. Okay, C16 to G33, whatever the content I have, just clear it. You can see clear content method, right? Clear contents, we have clear content method. Now run this particular program and go to your sheet. Now you can see from C16 to G33 every program what I have written, okay, whatever things I have written get cleared, right? So this is working with a specific sheet, right? This is the method, because some methods take one or more arguments. Okay, maybe this clear content method I need not means taking zero number of arguments. Okay, argument is a value which further specify the actions to perform. Okay, so but this clear content having this simple method in order to clear the contents in the range, so it is using the clear content method. Okay, so for today, guys, I guess this much is enough. Okay, because we have covered lots of concept. We have seen how we can work with a specific range and specific worksheet. Okay, how to work with a specific workbook of an Excel. Okay, we have seen the simple method like sheet 1 worksheet and clear content, right? Count, range. So these simple methods we have seen. Tomorrow we will see about the some object methods, how to activate the sheets, and some means object events we're going to see, and how the VBA helping this some particular systems. Okay, and how the automatically property listers and methods we can do, some function procedures. We will see so many methods and many other things with the help of this VBA codes. So for today, guys, bye bye everyone. And again, if you want to learn this all the things in deep, okay, you can connect to Coachx.Live. Definitely they're going to guide you at the best level. So bye bye guys, let's see you at let's on Monday, guys. Let's see you on Monday. You can take a rest.